Okay, grade 10s. We're going to do finding the equations of lines. Now, I know assignment E probably caused lots of difficulties and stuff like that, but this should kind of lead us into some direction. It might be fairly tough even to see how to do this, but hopefully you get enough that we can get through a bit of it and able to do 5 or 10 questions. So we'll just say that this is called writing linear equations. Now, this is one of the main things in this unit, one of the major outcomes of the course, okay, is writing linear equations. Now, there's a whole bunch of situations where this happens, and one of the situations is when you're given the slope of a line and the y-intercept, because that leads us into probably the best thing that we can. Another situation is when you're given a slope and a different point, so just and point other than the y-intercept, very much related to it, but different. But it could be any point. Another situation is when you're given any 2 points. Okay, any 2 points. Okay, and there's 2 other situations, but they're kind of related to the first and the second one there, and we'll get to those later. Right now, I want to make sure that we understand something else. There's 2 forms, and how to write an equation. You'll remember this from grade 9, because the first one is the slope-intercept form. Intercept form. Okay, and that to me is the useful one. It looks like this: y equals mx plus b. Okay, and of course we know m is our slope. Slope. Okay, and b is our actual y-intercept. Funny that it's named b, but it is. Okay, and the second form is just called standard form. Now there's a couple ways to do this, but I'm going to show you the way I do it, and then when we go and write something in standard form, you'll see it's fairly easy to get it into it. So standard form is just ax plus by equals c, where your x's and y's are on one side in that order. Okay, so we'll start and we'll do what we'll do is we'll do the first 2 types probably on here, and we'll move from there. Okay, so we'll start. So the first example I'm going to give you is when we do given a slope and a y-intercept. It is the easiest kind. It's kind of embarrassing that I have to actually show you this. So example, write the equation of a line, or of the line, whichever you prefer. Write the equation of a line given m equals, let's say 2/3, and the y-intercept, or b for all intents and purposes, right? B, same thing, is equal to 4. Doesn't make a big difference. Okay, so I mean we'll learn to graph these, and we've graphed them in grade 9. So this is kind of like an extension of grade 9 linear relations when we graph them. Well, we're kind of learning how to go backwards. Well, let's write them in both forms. Let's do it. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Well, we know that that is y equals mx plus b. That's how I want it to look. And I want us to fill in m, and I want us to fill in b. So if you can't see this yet, let me make it very clear to you. M is right there. B is right there. So I'm going to take those numbers and I'm going to put them right into the form. Y equals 2/3 x plus 4. I'm in slope-intercept form. I've just wrote the equation of that line in slope-intercept form. Now, what about standard form? This one, we have to use a little grade 9 math as well. Well, in order to get standard form, I always like finding the slope-intercept form first. Okay? So I'm going to take this now, and I'm going to write it down here. Y equals 2/3 x plus 4. And I don't want any fractions in standard form at all. So we should know how to get rid of this 3 right here pretty easily now. It's an equation. How do I get rid of fractions when I've got an equation? Well, I got to multiply everything by something. Well, it's the lowest common denominator, which happens to be 3. So I'm going to multiply that 3 into everything in that question. So I'm going to end up with, when I go 3 times y, I end up with 3y equals, when I multiply that 3 into the 2/3, I get 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2x. Or I can think of it as just I'm dividing the 3 that I'm multiplying in with the 3 in the denominator. They cancel. I'm left with the 2x. That's the easiest thing to think about. And then, of course, I got to multiply it in to the 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so I've got rid of the fractions. Now I'm starting to get closer to standard form here. Well, remember standard form was ax plus by equals c. So I got to get my x's and y's on the same side. Well, that's pretty easy. So I'm just going to minus the 2x over, like so. Cancels it there. So I get negative 2x plus 3y is equal to 12. Done. We're in ax plus by equals c mode. I love it. So there's my answer in standard form. So the questions will ask you to put it into something like slope-intercept form or standard form. If I don't say, I always want it in slope-intercept form. If I don't say. If I state, though, you better put it in that form or else. Okay? We'll do one more example, I guess, where, no, I don't think we will. We'll do it in a different video, so you guys can do this different time.